Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I want to talk to you about Pocket Dimension. It's just a few days away, and at least last time the rewards were really insane. Okay, we can see here the rewards do contain, it looks like, crafted teal gear once again. This is huge because each one of these is essentially multiple teal pieces all in one. So you could have, these each represent many different teal pieces. You could see all of this individual teal gear here as well. So quite a bit here. And then on top of all that, there's, silver promos, orange gear, and other good stuff as well. Now, you're going to be saying, okay, well, what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about how to prepare for it. And this is really important for mid-game players in particular. So if we go to msf.gg, you can see that the tag is, they already have the map up. You can see the individual rewards per the nodes for each node, and the required team is Disciple. If you go to the game, you can actually see the Disciple team in the game. So what I want to do is talk to you about the Disciple characters and which ones are going to make sense for you to focus on if you are not a super endgame player. I will just say, if you're somebody who has, 5 meta characters here at gear tier 14 or 15, you should be able to probably auto Pocket Dimension based on how it was last time. Last time, Pocket Dimension was very easy for endgame players. You could just blow through it, and it was just, they had a leaderboard, a timed leaderboard. It was just who could press auto the fastest. Okay. But I will say it was a very, very significant challenge for mid-game players. And I did have a video about how I was helping my free-to-play cousin is free-to-play through the and is a mid-game player in DD3. I was helping him through the last Pocket Dimension, which was very big for his account. I want to talk to you about, if you are a mid-game player, which characters you want to focus on building. I think it's worth building, by the way, for a mid-game player, even if it takes you out of your track a little bit, given the size of the rewards. And I will say that the purpose of this is basically for Scopely to give us an incentive or a reason to build a wider roster. More and more people are only building raid characters now because that has been so much of the focus of the game and where the rewards have been. And so you'll see here there aren't many raid characters. Really, Iceman's the only real raid character here. So which characters should you be building up or good to build up? Obviously, if you have the new Doctor Strange, he's great because he just came out and he's with this new exciting Darkhold team and so on. So he's certainly a character that is worth investment. But let's just assume that that's not on the table for most people. He is a campaign character. But, who are the other characters here that make some sense? Well, they're deliberately chose characters that you wouldn't otherwise want to build, right, for the most part, with some exceptions. I mean, a couple really good meta characters are going to be Morbius and Ghost Rider from the Dark Hunters. That's a new meta war offense team. Morbius is, good and useful in Dark Dimension 5. He's a city character. Ghost Rider, obviously part of that high war offense team. Now, they're not the best war offense team, but they're very good. So, they're, I think, reasonable options to upgrade. Kate Bishop's another one, right? Kate Bishop, fairly new character, but I think most people aren't going to have these characters at high stars. And so, I think, and look, Kate Bishop's a war defense character. Morbius also a war character. So what are your other options? I do think Night Nurse is a reasonable option because she fills a couple roles. First of all, I think she'll do fairly well here. The healing, the cleanse can be nice. But I will also just say she is a player who can sort of be a backup in raid if your main team gets hurt and you need to just throw somebody in there. She's not awful. And she also is on a good war offense team in terms of Shadowland. What are the rest of the options here? Well, they're not very good. Some of these characters are just hot trash, like Ultimus, Mysterio, Shocker, and so forth. Although much love to Shocker for his performance for me as a summon. But look, Scarlet Witch is here. She's, I think, a very kind of a stealth option because she's part of the new Darkhold team. I think, she's been buffed a lot. Her stats have been buffed a lot. And the fact that she has the Darkhold tag means that at the very least, I don't know if it'll be an arena, like Dormammu might be with the Darkhold in arena, but I think either she will make the arena team, or at least in war she'll be used with the Darkhold team. And I think with the stat increases, she's got a reasonable kit and stats that I think will make her valuable. So Scarlet Witch, I think, is a good option. So if you're going purely for meta characters, it would be something like Doctor Strange, Heartless, Scarlet Witch, Morbius, Ghost Rider, Kate Bishop, right? You just go over the most meta team. But, if you're trying to make do on a budget and you don't have every character built up, Iceman, I think, is a safe character to build up because you're going to want him for mutant raids right now anyway. So that's one character I think that's a budget option for people. Like I said, Night Nurse, if you do care at all about war, you should be able to easily have her at 7 stars, and she's a reasonable choice. Black Bolt and Yo-Yo are okay. I think that they are, they're not all that great anymore, but they still have some use. Black Bolt, because he's a legendary, some people are bringing him, for example, to DD5. Nick Fury, obviously he's required now for a newer, better legendary. So, some people have him geared, up and geared just for that alone. So that could be an investment that at the very least you could use later. Otherwise, most of the rest of these characters aren't very good. Mystique has now been reworked as part of the Marauders team. Black Widow, I think Skeletor is really in the downswing and has been power crept, so I really wouldn't build her unless you have to. Magneto, I think, is very, very niche character. Some character only endgame players should build. The rest of these characters I would ignore. So that's sort of my take for this. And generally speaking, I think that if you are a mid-game player, if you're tight on gear, if you're free to play, for example, I would probably wait and make sure that the difficulty level hasn't changed before we are here. Actually, you know what? Let me see. I think we can actually look at MSF.gg. So yeah, the difficulty level hasn't changed. So, this is a no-brainer. And so I think just everybody's going to want to build for this, which is great. I mean, I really have to say, this is something I really like from Scopely. I give them credit. This is as hard as it's going to get here at the end. So you're going to have Ultron at the end, just like last time. And it looks like, okay, gear tier 15. So, you're going to you'll have to grind it out. But I think if you get, some of these characters to gear tier 14, 15, that's good. Now, one thing I will say is, if you're having trouble on the boss node, Black Bolt is going to be excellent against Ultron. He's the natural counter, the hard counter to Ultron. So, if Ultron on the last node is going to be an issue for you, if you're a mid-game player who struggled with that last time, or if you need to go in under-geared, Black Bolt will perform very well against Ultron, will help you on that final node. But, that's the only, I think, within the node character that I would worry about. The rest of these, the rest of the characters are all old, kind of, old kits and so forth. So I wouldn't worry too much about them. And I would think that if you have a, gear tier 14, 15 characters, you should be fine. All right, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. If you got comments, questions, cheers, jeers, happy, sad, angry, mad, put your comments below, or go to my Discord. That's linked below. You can also go to my Twitch stream. That is linked below too.